Hi, good morning students. How are you today? I'm Miss Dahlia. I'm a homeroom teacher for P2 and I'm also teach P1 for thematic lessons. Today, I will lead a chapter. We have 3 videos. First, we are going to sing a song and then the second, we are going to hear the God words and the last, we are going to do the art and craft activity. Hope you will be happy to join with this chapel today.
Oh, I know God made me, and I know God loves me, and He knows what's best for me, 'cause He knows every single thing. And I believe His promise is true, 'cause everything He says He will do. On a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, on Saturday, and every day I know I can trust in Him and His promises. I can trust in Him and His promises.
Oh, I know God made me, and I know God loves me. Yeah, He knows what's best for me, 'cause He knows every single thing. And I believe His promise is true, 'cause everything He says He will do. Oh,
On a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, on Saturday, and every day I know I can trust in Him and His promises. I can trust in Him and His promises.
so come on and lift your hands to the ceiling. Don't be afraid to shout. So come on and lift your hands to the ceiling. God will never let us down. So come on and lift your hands to the ceiling. Don't be afraid to shout. Come on and lift your hands to the ceiling. God will never let us down.
On a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, on Saturday, and every day I know I can trust in Him and His promises.
Such your promises, can trust your promises. I can trust in Him, can trust in Him.
God's story, Ruth. So part of God's story is about a woman named Ruth, and it begins like this. Ruth lived in a place called Moab and was married to a guy who was part of God's special family, the Israelites. A few years later, though, Ruth's husband died. Instead of returning to her family, which would have been expected, she stayed with Naomi, her husband's mom. Naomi tried to get Ruth to go back to her family in Moab, but Ruth wouldn't leave Naomi, no matter what. In fact, she wanted to go back to Israel with her. Ruth said, "Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." So they both returned to Naomi's home in Bethlehem. Back then, though, it was hard for women to find work. Usually, they had to be taken care of by their husband or a dad. It's really hard to imagine that now, but Naomi and Ruth might not have even known how they'd survive. At first, to get food, Ruth went to the fields of a man named Boaz and followed his harvesters around. If they dropped anything, even just a piece of grain, she picked it up. This was called gleaning. Ruth worked from morning to night and barely even took a break. Boaz noticed. He told his workers to leave behind some extra grain for her to gather. When Naomi heard about this, she was overjoyed. because Boaz was Naomi's relative and what's called a family redeemer. That meant that it was his responsibility to take care of his family. If anybody was going to rescue Ruth and Naomi, it was Boaz. Kids, we have a redeemer too. It's Jesus. He's the one who saves us. Anyway, this gave Naomi an idea. She told Ruth to put on her best clothes and perfume and then go to the place where Boaz was sleeping. Naomi said that once Boaz had gone to sleep, Ruth should lay down by his feet. Now, this may sound like a weird plan, but it was actually really brave. Ruth trusted Naomi and obeyed. When Boaz woke up, he was surprised. After all, someone was lying at his feet. That's not exactly a normal night. When Boaz asked who Ruth was, she said, "I am your servant. You are my family redeemer." Now Boaz understood. Ruth wanted Boaz to marry her so that she and Naomi would both be taken care of. Boaz agreed. This was a huge deal. Ruth wasn't an Israelite, but she wanted to follow God anyway. By marrying Boaz, she got to officially be part of God's family. In fact, Ruth's great-grandson was King David, and many, many years later, Jesus, the rescuer, was born into the same family line. Now, because of Jesus, we get to be a part of God's family too. So, in case you missed it, here's the quick version. Ruth was from Moab. Her husband died. Ruth was left with his mom, Naomi. Naomi told her to go home. Ruth said no. She went to Israel with Naomi. They needed someone to take care of them. Ruth gleaned in a field. Boaz noticed. He left extra grain for Ruth. Naomi made a plan. Ruth obeyed it. She wanted to marry Boaz. He agreed. Ruth became part of God's special family. And we can too. And that's a part of God's story.
Today we are going to do a children's activity based on the story of Ruth. So here's what you will need. I've got my paper, my crayons and some scissors. I'm going to start off with the white paper and just fold it over like so. Now I want you to draw a flower, but make sure that your flower extends right to the fold of the paper. And when you're cutting it out, don't cut the fold. This is because we need it to open and close so that it can reveal a hidden message. Just like that. Look, you can see the fold there. So I want you to do 4 flower pictures, and you can colour them in. You can probably spend a bit more time on yours than I did, make it look a bit better. So we've got 4 flowers there, all able to be folded to show a secret message. Okay, now I've got my yellow paper, and I'm just going to cut some out just to make it easier to handle. And I'm going to make some little strips. So I'm making 2 long thin strips like this, and that's what I'm going to put my wheat on. And then I'm going to do 3 strips with a pointy end, and then I can fold down the ends of them and make them look a bit like grass. They haven't got to be all the same size or shape. And just pop them to one side, and now I've got some green background paper. You can use any colour you like really. And just organise and arrange your strips onto the paper until you're happy with them. I like to fold the ends down just to make it look a bit more 3D, a bit more real. And then you can glue them down when you're happy with them. And then with the rest of the yellow paper, just cut out some smaller but thicker strips. Just like this. You'll probably need about 20. Just depends how long your other strips have been. So take your glue and just glue the ends, and then we're going to make some very small little paper rings just like this. I'll do that with all of them. And then it's easier if you glue on the paper like I've done, because I struggled to do it the other way. Then just arrange them onto the long thin strips just like this, and it looks like wheat, and it's a nice 3D picture. You could use some dried pasta shapes if you've got any. Rigatoni would probably work quite well, or macaroni. And now just have a look at the flowers that you've made and see where you want them to go. I think I want them like this. And when you're happy with them, just take your glue and glue them down. Make sure that the opening is at the top or the bottom or wherever you want it to be. Just make sure that they still open up. There we go, and just do the bottom ones. Doesn't matter if they overlap a little bit onto your picture, or if they hang off the side, that's fine. And then on the inside, I just want you to write. I've chosen this part of the story of Ruth because I think it's a lovely part. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. That's what Ruth said to Naomi. She was being faithful and obedient. And there's your finished picture. A nice 3D textured picture all about Ruth.